All right, this is going to be like a video response for Pastor Joe on his Viking training #1. I'm gonna ruck for an hour and I'm gonna make some soup. Stay with me. Muddy. Uh-oh, hold up. Kind of blazing me a different path today. Different creek. This one feeds out of the bottom of my pond and flows into the neighbor's pond. Knife hand that way, back that way. Just different path, different trail, something different. So let's talk numbers. My pack is about 40 pounds, 41 pounds I think. Although I'm carrying a little extra gear today for my equipment, my things moving. I'm carrying a little extra gear today for my camera work. I have an extra bipod up here, tripod. I have an extra tripod. I have my backup battery pack because for some reason my phone and the cold don't get along. It's 37 degrees with a high of 37 today. It's supposed to stay in the upper 30s all day. 90% chance of rain. May not be able to tell because I'm not really all that wet, but it is raining. Just a little. Not enough to worry with getting out the rain gear in my opinion. But that's just me. So that's crunching a few numbers. I say crunching, it's explaining a few numbers. All right, I got walking to do. So I'm walking in my pasture, I guess you'd call it, my front yard. It's a mile all the way around my place if I walk the perimeter. So I'm using that, and plus it's pretty hilly out here if you haven't seen my videos before. So if you see junk in the background, it's all on the list to do. So here's an idea. What are you gonna do if you come to something like this? Are you gonna take the time to pull your tools out and cut it? Are you gonna look and see if there's an opening to go around it? Are you gonna take your pack off and throw it over and climb over, throw it back on? I guess that's up to you when you get there. Some people would be easier to cut. Maybe you get ready to bug out, you put a little pouch with some good cutters on there. You know, it's an idea. It's just a thought while I'm walking. I say walking. I feel like I'm freezing to death, but I know I don't want to put on a coat. Notice I'm just wearing some merino wool type stuff. I don't want to put on a coat and get really sweaty while I'm walking, and it's this cool knowing that I'm going to stop. I don't want to make myself sick. But, so anyway, still trudging. Okay, so I was doing my walk, right? And I see something that seems odd. And no, I'm not on my property, I'm on the line. But I guess my neighbor has, maybe his kids have created them a little clubhouse here. I think it's kind of cool, man. I like the kids are coming out and playing. And we get along fine. I don't have any problems with them being out here, you know. There's not a big deal. I'd really rather the kids come out and play, have a good time. I mean, that's what I did when I was a kid. Woods, man. Woods are the way to play. Best playground. I don't know if walking down this creek bank is the best idea. Let's cross it. Creek's flowing good today, though. So yeah, neighbor kids, I'm assuming. Could be the grown-ups, who knows? Got them a little clubhouse. Cool story. Okay, so lesson 1. I'm just gonna stop for a minute. Lesson one for me, I go hiking with my family a lot, and I think that's okay. I have a 40-pound bag on. Oliver probably weighs, I don't know, 35, 40 pounds, that bag. It's pretty equal, but we don't move at a good pace. We move at the kids' pace. Here, I'm rocking, I'm rolling, I'm trying to get my money's worth out of this whole deal, so to speak. I come out of my hat first thing because I'm sweating like a pig, but man, it's a little cold. I want to put my hat back on. I just don't want to sweat a whole lot. I may be overdressed for this. Something to think about if you're going to do it. Something to really think about if it's your plan to put on a bunch of coveralls and all that crap in the winter. Yeah, I think you need to tote them and put them on when you stop to keep yourself warm rather than get them soaking wet with sweat. I'm wearing what is it, the merino wool shirt today. You can see I've got it tucked under my coop shirt, and I'm hot, but I'm getting it. You know, I'm trying to get it. That's the whole point of me rucking anyway, is to get in a better shape. But yeah, that's just a first thought. All right. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to be somewhat realistic. I want to find me a place down here by the creek that I can hide pretty good, and at the same time I want to be close to my water source, but I don't want to be in it. You know, you have to if you're gonna camp somewhere, this is not even survival related. I mean, I guess it is, but if you're gonna camp somewhere, you don't want to be camping in a low spot where water's gonna run down on you. So I think I'm gonna go up this way just a little bit, away from the creek. Just go up the hill a little bit. I know this area, so I know it's not ever gonna flood, but I'm gonna find me a place over there. I'm coming up on my hour, plus or minus a minute or two. I don't really know. I started around noonish. I honestly didn't think I was gonna walk an hour, but I got caught up in it. A ruck, hike, whatever. And I got caught up, and here I am. I mean, I've been kind of just looking and enjoying and thinking. My battery's almost dead, so I'm gonna have to find a place to stop and plug you into the battery pack. All right. All right. This is where I'm gonna go, I guess. I'm closer to the creek than I want to be, but this is just for the purposes. All right, I'm gonna plug you up and get us set up for camp. My little backup battery pack here. Flashlight. All right, let's get you some juice. I don't know why the cold affects you so much, but it does. I love fishing line. What is it called? I can't remember anything.
There's more rain.
Generally, when I'm doing a temporary setup like this, I try to not cut my line because I'm frugal. So I can wrap it back up. However, I'm gonna get wet if I don't hurry up. think I'm gonna have to move you over there. Okay, this one's simple. I set it up just like the last one. I tried to pull it. Stick broke. Came out of the dirt. Get in there. Alright, so I have these little elastic things on one side of my tarp for my, I just use sticks for my tent stakes. So anyway, it's just a simple lean-to. I cheated a little bit. I'm using this for a ridge line, but it didn't work very well, so I tied it up here. That's not the important thing here. So my video now is going to be something I didn't think about, restricted to under the tarp, I think. I have a life-proof case on my phone, so I guess I could set it out there. Not such a big deal. Alright, so let's make some soup. Okay, so I got in a hurry to put my tarp up because it started raining pretty good. I didn't really clear my floor out. So now I got to do some cleaning up in here real quick. My setup's not great, but I can push my bag back in the back to give it a little more ridge line. Give it a little more height. I didn't go high enough, but if you're trying to stay low key, you want it to be pretty low. I'm gonna have to fix my tarp. I got a hole in it. Little bitty hole. Huh. Okay. Soup. Okay, you've seen me in the past when it wasn't raining, use my rain shield for a ground cloth, and it would work today too. It's not that bad, but the ground is still not completely wet, even though it's been drizzling for about an hour now. So today I'm going to do a little different. Do it how I do it as planned. This is some rice, dehydrated stuff. It's a couple of years old, I'm pretty sure. It was given to me to try by a friend. I've had it in this pack for a couple of years, so I know it's a couple of years old. Probably time to go through it. This is kind of one of my calorie packs. I have them in different places. Try to leave them on top so it doesn't get tore up too much. I brought extra parts for filming. Alright. Here we go. I use a cook stove. I mean, let's talk about it, if you're on the run. I believe it's a 30 below sleeping bag in here. I have my jacket here. If I start getting cold, I went ahead and put it on my bag before I left. I'm assuming that if I was out and about in this kind of weather, I would have had a jacket with me. But I have a 30 below sleeping bag, and it's got the military Gore-Tex. Is it Gore-Tex? The bivvy. I've got the military bivvy on the outside of it. So there's that. I have my water. I'm not going to use it today. I want to do something different. What are you up to, Hobie? Y'all keep seeing my clicking. I'm trying something different. I have a remote that I've been trying to figure out. So I keep grabbing it and clicking it and moving it around. Sorry. Always try to get me a flat surface for the cooking. I'm gonna lose this remote. Okay, so this is a pouch that I got from work. Somebody was gonna throw away. It's pretty new, but I've decided to make it my Sawyer mini kit, and I plan on getting some water out of the creek to make my soup and see if I die or not. Of course, it could be the soup, or in this case, it's not gonna be soup, Pastor Joe. I'm sorry, but it's gonna be close. You see me? That'll be enough, eh? Okay. Perhaps this is a separate video. I don't know. I have a little pouch here. And I like it because it's got a little belt clip. Got my back flusher, which, if you don't know, I found out recently you have to be careful how you store these because you can crush them pretty easy, especially in the cold weather. So anyway, this is a newer one. This is my creek water. You just saw me get it. Make sure there ain't no junk on here. Screw my filter on. Well, dadgummit, it tastes like water. Whatever shall I do? Get my cooking pot. Alright, so we're talking about lessons. One lesson I learned, I like this setup that I have. My water kit, you had the back channel on my channel and look at it. This one here, I let it get hot one time. Made kind of a nasty thing in the bottom. I always try to clean it up before I use it. It's really not that bad, it just looks bad in there. So, tip, if you decide to go this route, don't burn. Did you get any of that? Probably something in there. But I always make sure and clean it out good before I use it and after. So there's that. That's another tip. I don't know if I'm on 2 or 3 or 1. It's about a cup of water, I think. This says 16 ounces. There's no way I got 16 ounces in there. I think I got about a cup of water in there. Smells good. Something I'm a firm believer in is pack in, pack out, and I usually pick up even when I'm at a state park. Keep the world clean, man. It's easy. Just do it. Uh-oh, let her go out. Okay, now you can see this. There don't weigh nothing. This is the one I was trying to use. I don't know what's happened to it. It's the newer one of the two. That's why I used it. But it stopped letting gas through. So I got out my old original one. Seems to be doing okay. 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? Where's my blade? All right, let's cook some soup. Actually doesn't taste too bad. So one thing I'll tell you, if you don't already know, sometimes, and that's what I thought was happening a while ago, when you use these gas stoves, if it's real cold outside, which it's not. I mean, let's be honest, it's 37. It's not that bad out here. But if it's too cold, your gas won't work right. It'll be too cold itself and it won't come out. Right now it's working, but I don't think it's being optimum. Although my food's cooking, my soup is cooking, soup's on. Another thing that I've done bad today, that I usually am good at, you can see maybe you can see, I've kind of got stuff laying everywhere. I usually don't do that. I'm focusing too much on trying to film this than what I normally do. I do have a glove down here purposely protecting the battery pack, try to keep some water off of it. And it's raining still, but not terribly. It's just kind of a drizzle. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, kind of picking up my area. I'm torn between whether or not I want to make me some coffee. But if you have one of these filters, when you're done using it, you should flush it out. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use my good water because I don't want to wait for my container, which I have another, don't get me wrong. But, well, you need to stir. That's almost done. Not bad. So what I'm going to do while I'm waiting is I'm going to flush out my system, which you should do too, is what I was getting at. Oh no, it doesn't fit. Okay, time out. I don't know how that's going to affect my guts, but it's going to taste really good. Alright, so I'm going to cheat.
So what happened there is my bottle is not big enough for my syringe to fit in.
Now I'm going to flush out my system. Bag flush it out. I don't know if you saw that on camera. My soup's cooking. So I got to get to that. Okay, I'm calling that done. Can's a little warm, but I have some gloves. Oh. I'm sorry, PJ. I didn't do soup, but this is like a beans and rice kind of thing. I know you'll understand, and I know you'll be cool with it. I'm trying really hard to do right, to do the trial right. I know that I'm a lot farther along than some of the other people, and I absolutely know that I'm not the best at this, and I'm not a seer instructor by any chance. But I'm learning, and I have learned a lot in the past. My biggest issue is I don't get out and do it enough. I could come up with 1,000 excuses for that, but I'm sitting out here in the rain. I got water, I got food, and this is the hardest thing that I have that I could eat. I got stuff in that bag that I could just grab and go. I'm not cold yet. I'm still warm from the hike. I have my jacket, I have my sleeping bag, and you can see in the background I use my tripod to jack my tarp up a little bit. I know 1,000 ways to configure a tarp shelter, but every time I get in a panic and a rush, this is the one I go to. I've done it twice, and it's the easiest for me. If I was gonna go up against, if I was being quiet, if I was rambling on and blah 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 about how many tarp setups I know a few. My favorite is the one that where you take like a bungee, you wrap it around one corner of the tarp, you stake the other ends of the tarp down, and it makes like a triangle ridge line teepee with the tree being your opening. I like that one the best. It's the easiest, but I can't do anything in it as far as showing the things that I'm trying to show. So there you go. Just a quick look around. I got water, I got my stove, I got the Hobie, I got my beans and rice, aka not soup, and I've got my tarp with a hole in it that I've got to patch. I've got a couple of holes in it. And it's not raining as much as I thought it would rain today. For it to be 90% chance of rain, it's raining, but it's not pouring like I was expecting it to. But anyway, good luck to all you Vikings that are going to try this. Do it. You know, that's the best thing. This is proof. You see the things that I did wrong, you can watch how I do things. One of the things I did, I didn't wear my gloves when I was putting I just break sticks and use them for tent stakes, for steaks. Broke a stick, and I broke one of these cedar limbs thinking it would be breakable. I got me a nice little scratch. 'Tis but a flesh wound, but I mean it hurts a little bit. It didn't stop me. It could have been a lot worse. Let's face it, it could have been bad. So wear your gloves when you're doing your bushcraft stuff and your setup. Gloves are good for hot stuff. This has cooled off quite a bit. Actually, it's kind of nice. It's warm now. It's hot down here, but it's nice and warm on that cold fingered hand. You can see I'm red. It's chilly out here. I'm not faking it. I don't know if you can see it on camera. But, so, that's my video, guys. Get out there and do it. See if I can... Do it. The man knows what he's talking about, I believe. And all you got to do is do it, and you'll learn from experience. All right. What do I say? Not I'll see you out there. Not shalom. Oh. Y'all have a good one. All right, so I've packed up. This is where I was sitting. I left a mess. I covered up a little bit. That's something I do. You know, if you're on the run, you don't have to do that. But then again, if you're on the run, you may not want anybody to find your camp spot. All right, another thing to think about. I'm wet. I mean, I'm not wet, but my tarp is soaking wet. My boots are wet-ish. My knees are dirty. My gloves are wet. I don't know that you can tell that. I'm very cold. Could I have survived the night in here? Absolutely. Because I would have got my sleeping bag out and I would have crawled in that sucker and I'd have went to bed. I wouldn't have been goofing around. My recording equipment is all wet. Not that that matters really. Luckily it's just on a phone. I can dry it all off. I can hike up to the house now and get everything in the dry. So basically the thing is what are you gonna do with a wet tarp? Are you gonna throw it back in your bag? Where do you keep it in your bag? I keep mine on the outside pouch in my bag, so it wouldn't be such a big deal. Are you gonna use your tarp and get it soaking wet, wrap it up, throw it in your bag and leave it? When you get it back out, it's gonna be mildewed and it's gonna stink and be nasty. So think about what you're gonna do with your stuff. I'm gonna take it up to the house. I'm just gonna carry it out like this. Take it up to the house and put it in the, probably either in the shop and let it dry, and I'll put it back in the bag. So that's just another thought to add to my list of today's whoa, sorry, I'm so sorry. My list of today's experiences. Big old squirrel just ran by. I guess I was just being too quiet until I got up and moved. All right, I'm gonna edit this part in.